Hello, you're watching Wednesday's Look East, coming up tonight.
Everyone's tightening their belts. We don't know what's going to happen, and we think it's going to affect small businesses like ours.
From gift shops to bakeries, the businesses here fearing a no-deal Brexit. But is the government better prepared than anyone thinks? Life after the latte, the coffee being recycled into fuel. Bowling over a young crowd, the teenagers taking up the sport.
And I'm in Milton Keynes, looking at the link between West African drumming and our health.
First tonight, it is the option that seems to fill many people with fear. But as experts say, a no-deal Brexit on October 31st is becoming more likely. What's the government doing to help people here with that scenario? Well, tonight we'll look at some of the concerns and how the preparations are going. Our political correspondent Ben Schofield has been all over the region today gathering opinion. We can join him in Luton now. Ben.
Yes, good evening, Janine, and welcome to SH Pratt here in Luton. And this, believe it or not, is where some 35 million bananas are ripened and prepared each week before being distributed to our supermarket shelves. These giant temperature-controlled rooms are made to ensure that the bananas ripen at exactly the right rate. Well, I've been taking the temperature of this company and others in our region to see how their leaders are feeling about a no-deal Brexit.
Is leaving the European Union without a deal simply bananas?
Behind these doors are ripening rooms.
Robert Wells runs SH Pratt in Luton. This, the largest banana ripening facility in Europe.
I'm not feeling too bad about it. The only concern I have will be bottlenecks getting product through the ports.
Bananas are vulnerable to hold-ups. One solution for SH Pratt to apply for special customs status and fast-track through the ports. But uncertainty persists.
My concerns probably revolve around uncertainty. I don't, where I sit within reason, I'm not really too worried what is coming our way. It's knowing what was coming our way is my big issue.
Also in Luton, Stanley Handling. The firm designs and imports lifting equipment and wheelchairs, mainly from Italy, and is enjoying record growth.
The reason that we feel we're still growing as a business is because the staff are regularly encouraged that, look, let's keep our focus, let's keep positive.
Their preparations include boosting stock by 10%, pre-buying 6 months of euros, and a hiring freeze.
We are setting expectations with our customers because I think the additional checks at the border, the possible queues, etc., of the lorries, and we have deliveries here, at least twice a week. So it could be a fairly large impact if we can't get those goods through.
At Blue Skies in Corby, logistics less of a concern. They rely on air freight. But a plunge in the value of the pound, they say, could hit them hard. A message from the founder to the politicians.
I would bring the parliamentarians back from their beaches or wherever they are and have them back in Westminster. I would beg them to send their envoys to Brussels and, to get a deal. I mean, how crazy not to have a deal. Being a negotiator myself, a person who supplies 17 different retailers, I can't imagine how you can't have a deal.
If we don't leave, then will we ever leave?
But for Corby's Conservative leader, the cost of no deal is a price worth paying.
I voted to leave the European Union, not necessarily for the European Union as it is now, but the European Union that it could be in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years' time.
For some, no deal is a cliff edge. For others, an opportunity. The government wants a deal, but is scaling up preparations to leave without one, including investing cash to keep freight moving and offering businesses advice on how best to prepare.
And we'll have more from Ben later in the programme tonight. And there's much more about the ins and outs of a no-deal Brexit. If you want to find out more, it's on the BBC News website. But first, he's not your typical police chief. He's often found stopping speeding motorists and personally visiting victims of crime in his county. When Nick Adderley took over as Northamptonshire's top cop last year, he announced 6 new priorities for improving policing, including burglary and sexual violence. So, is he getting results? Stuart Ratcliffe has been finding out.
12 months ago, Nick Adderley sat behind his desk for the very first time. And in a disarmingly honest interview, he was quite blunt about the state of the force he inherited.
I was quite alarmed at the failings across the board in terms of the service that was actually being offered. Now that's not down to the officers and staff, that was down to a number of changes and issues, including the way that the force was set up and organised. The way that it was organised actually didn't lend itself to being able to provide the public with the service that they required, and so I saw failings right away across the organisation.
Which is why he set out 6 policing priorities. But it was the force's lack of action on burglaries which time and time again was criticised by the public, which is why it was also included as a priority. In fact, the chief himself has been known to personally visit the home of burglary victims to demonstrate his commitment to tackling this crime.
We have reduced domestic burglary in the last year by over 33%. That's a third less domestic burglaries, home invasions. And the guarantee that I gave when I made this a priority is that you will get a police response to every home invasion. So where your home has been entered by an intruder, there will be response.